So, what does it really mean to be free? Today, we're diving into 4 completely different blueprints for human liberation. We're talking about a martial artist, a US president, a fiery anarchist, and even a cosmic mystic. And believe it or not, they're all connected by one powerful ancient myth.
You know, when you boil it all down, the story of humanity is really just one big story about breaking chains. And I don't just mean physical chains made of iron and steel. I'm talking about the invisible ones, the chains of habit, of dogma, of fear. This quest for liberation, it's the engine that drives all of human history. It's this constant, relentless struggle to go beyond the limits we find ourselves in.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack the myth of Prometheus, which is going to be our guide through all of this. Then, we'll get our feet on the ground and look at freedom in the material world, our bodies, our societies. After that, we take a huge leap into the inner cosmos of the mind and the soul. And finally, we'll bring all these pieces together into one grand architecture for liberation.
So let's kick things off with the one symbol that ties all 4 of our thinkers together: Prometheus. Now, this isn't just some old story from a dusty book. It's actually a really powerful way to understand our deepest and maybe our most dangerous drive as a species, that burning desire to be free.
I mean, think about it. Prometheus is the ultimate rebel, right? He steals fire, which is really a stand-in for knowledge, for consciousness, from the gods, and he gives it to us, to humanity. And for that crime, he gets chained to a rock for eternity. So every single philosophy we're about to explore is like a different key to those chains. Each one is a unique way to unbind Prometheus, and, in doing so, to set ourselves free.
All right, let's bring this myth down to earth. Let's see how this whole struggle plays out in the real world. Our first area of liberation isn't some abstract concept. It's the most concrete thing we have, our physical bodies and the societies that we build with them. Now this is a truly radical idea. I mean, forget politics, forget ideologies for a second. The physicist and martial artist Moshe Feldenkrais argued that all freedom, every last bit of it, actually starts in your nervous system. That to free your mind, you first have to free your body from this invisible prison of habit that we all live in.
So Feldenkrais had this incredibly profound diagnosis. He realized that whenever we're anxious or stressed, our bodies instinctively go into this primitive crouch. Our shoulders hunch, our chest tightens, we kind of curl inward. But here's the kicker. This isn't just a physical posture. It's a mental state. A rigid body, he argued, literally creates a rigid mind. So his solution was totally revolutionary. These gentle, mindful movements designed to teach the nervous system that it has other options, creating brand new choices for both your body and your mind.
And this right here is the key to the whole thing. See, your body isn't a simple machine. It's this constant, dynamic conversation happening between your brain, your bones, your muscles, and even the force of gravity itself. For Feldenkrais, real freedom is about making that conversation smarter, more intentional, and a whole lot less controlled by fear.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when you scale this idea up? Well, a society made up of rigid, fearful individuals, it creates a rigid, fearful society. The problem of somatic rigidity in one person becomes the problem of social tyranny in the collective. And the solution, amazingly, is almost parallel. Just as bodily awareness frees the person, civil virtue is what frees the republic.
Let's jump over to the 18th century, where we find George Washington applying a really similar logic, but to politics. He had this deep belief that the universe was governed by a rational order, designed by a grand architect. So for him, tyranny wasn't just unfair, it was a direct violation of that cosmic order. And his solution wasn't just about passing laws or building armies, it was about character. For Washington, a free republic could only, and I mean only, be built on the private virtue of its citizens. The big goal, self-government, was impossible without individual self-control.
Okay, so we've explored the chains that can bind the body and society. Now we're going to plunge into what might be the deepest dungeon of all, the human mind. Because here, the chains aren't forged from iron, but from belief, from dogma, and from fear.
And wow, if there was ever anyone who brought a sledgehammer to these mental chains, it was the anarchist firebrand Emma Goldman. For her, organized religion wasn't a source of comfort. It was a powerful, manipulative industry designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to keep humanity confused, scared, and obedient.
This slide just lays out her worldview so starkly. On one side, you have what she called the theistic paradigm. She saw this as being rooted in fear, keeping humanity enslaved to the promise of a phantom afterlife just to control us here and now. And on the other side, you've got her atheistic paradigm, which is all about science, reason, and rebellion. It demands that we claim our freedom and build our own paradise right here, right now, with a defiant yes to this life.
So for Goldman, the message is absolute. It's non-negotiable. You simply cannot be free if your mind is on its knees. We have to wake up from what she called the nightmare of gods, toss out both the fear of hell and the hope of heaven, and use that fire of reason, the fire Prometheus gave us, to finally become the masters of our own destiny.
And now we're going to pivot. We're going to take a hard turn from Goldman's fiery atheism to a vision that is just as radical but points in the complete opposite direction. What if the ultimate freedom isn't found in destroying heaven, but in realizing that we are actually destined to ascend to it?
So take a deep breath, and welcome to the cosmology of the Urantia Book. This is not just a new map of the heavens, it's a complete reframing of what reality even is. It describes a universe of universes, this infinitely vast and intricate cosmic structure. Our world, which it calls Urantia, is just one tiny planet in a local system, which is part of a superuniverse, and it's all spiraling towards a divine center. In this view, our life isn't some brief accident. It's the very first step on an epic, eternal journey.
And at the very heart of this mind-bending cosmology is a truly revolutionary idea. Forget the angry, punishing god of dogma. The Urantia Book proposes something called a thought adjuster, a literal fragment of the divine, of God, that lives inside every single human mind. It doesn't command you, it doesn't force you. It's a silent inner compass, gently nudging us toward truth, beauty, and goodness, but only if we freely choose to listen. This is a God that whispers, not one that thunders.
So here we are. We've got 4 wildly different blueprints, one for the body, one for the state, one for the mind, and one for the soul. How on earth do these fit together? Well, in this final section, we are going to assemble them into a single cohesive architecture of human liberation.
This table just brings it all together beautifully. You can see the pattern, right? Each thinker points to a different kind of chain and offers a different kind of key. For Feldenkrais, the chain is learned anxiety, and the key is physical awareness. For Washington, the chain is tyranny, and the key is civic virtue. For Goldman, the chain is religious dogma, and the key is rebellious atheism. And for Urantia, the chain is our material existence itself, and the key is listening to our inner divine guide. They aren't contradicting each other, they're just working on different floors of the very same building.
And so, here it is, our 4-fold path to freedom. It all begins with physical freedom, mastering your body to free your mind. That expands outward into civil freedom, cultivating inner virtue to build a just society. It deepens inward with mental freedom, breaking the chains of dogma to create your own meaning. And it culminates in cosmic freedom, embracing a vision of infinite purpose and potential. This is the complete architecture of what it means to be free.
And that brings us right back to you. Prometheus gave us the fire. These 4 thinkers have offered us the keys. The only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. What chains will you break? To be continued. Support us. Please like and subscribe to our channel.